Do you want to live stream your church services to 10 different platforms and embed it on your website and be able to download videos afterwards and simulate live streams based on previous recordings and create clips and manage comments? Well, today's sponsor, YoloLive, can help you do just that with their software solution, YoloCast. Let's take a look at it today and see how it can help you and your church. So let's jump into my computer and take a look at YoloCast. First, let's take a look at their website, right? First off, they have a handful of different plans, and I'm using the business plan, but honestly, I think most of the features that I would want are actually available in this professional plan. Or you can get the business plan features if you have a piece of YoloLive's hardware, which subscribe if you want to see a review of their YoloBox Extreme, I believe it is. I've got it sitting right back there, and we'll be posting that very soon, so keep your eyes open for that as well. But anyway, these different plans have all sorts of different features depending on what it is that you need, but they definitely have some commonalities. I would recommend that you dig into them deeply in order to decide what exactly it is you need. But honestly, if you look through here, the big thing to me that's missing from Starter is the ability to actually embed on your website and the simulated live. But if all you're looking for is multi-streaming on a nice platform, YoloCast has it there. Once you get past that though, the professional plan I think has most of the features you would actually want. Business just kind of ups the amounts in these different areas that are kind of a little dependent on that, and maybe a couple other small features. But personally, I think for a church that's trying to multi-stream and embed on their website, the professional plan is probably where it's at. Make sure to use the link in the video description. I'll get a small kickback from that. And if you use the code BUDGETCHURCH with a space in between, you'll get 20% off all annual plans or the business or professional monthly plans. So that's a deal you definitely don't want to miss. So once you actually have your account set up, you will log into the dashboard, which looks like this right off the bat. It'll show any upcoming events you have, and you can also go in and see past events. So you can see a couple of test streams that I've done there. We'll come back to this page when we actually set up a test live stream in just a second, but let's take a look at the rest of the sidebar first, just to make sure we don't miss anything important. So we've got embed and playlist here. This is a tab that we'll go to when we want to actually embed this on our website, so we'll come back to this one. Media Center, this is where you can upload videos and images and audio that you want to use in your different streams, or copies of the actual streams that you've recorded. So this is a great place to come look if you need replays or if you want to get clips or something like that. Next up, we have reports, and this is just cool to see your total viewership across different platforms and any other details about those. Finally, stream source. This is actually when we start getting into the nitty-gritty of configuring your streams. So YoloCast supports different sources for you to actually stream from. At its base, it's basically just RTMP or SRT sources. So that can be OBS, or it can be an A10 Mini Pro, or it can be any number of hardwares or software solutions. So you'll just go in here to add source and you'll give it a name. And so if we look at this one, OBS test, what that does is it gives you a server URL, a stream key that we'll keep private, and then an RTMP URL and an SRT URL. So you can have any number of sources here. That way, if you need to stream from different devices, you can totally do that. And then finally, destinations. So we talked about multi-streaming. This is where you actually connect to those different platforms in order to stream your services to those different places. So you can see already I've connected my Facebook and my YouTube account here, but it's as easy as clicking add platform, selecting the platform you care about, and then logging in. Interestingly, you can actually forward your stream along to any other RTMP destination. So that's kind of cool. You could actually kind of bunny hop that stream somewhere else if you really wanted to. We've got a couple other beta features here that I'll talk about briefly. YOLO Cut, which allows you to actually edit your videos in here. Overlay Lab, which allows you to create overlays. This isn't super helpful for a church, but if you were using this in a sporting scenario, maybe you would find it useful. And then Web Control, which is actually just an area you can control your YoloBox stream devices. So again, we'll look at that more closely when we actually look at the YoloBox Extreme. Then you've just got some settings and also video tutorials. So coming back up to live events, let's go ahead and actually start a live stream. It's pretty easy to do from here, and it's cool to see how the whole platform works together to create just kind of an easy experience for you to multi-stream to different places. So we'll click on Create Live Event. Now you need to select your source. And you can tell it's basically just an RTMP stream or a piece of their hardware, or this is where you can actually do a simulated live based on a re-event or a media video. So we'll look at those options in a second, but we'll just start with an RTMP stream. And then that's when you'll select a source that you've created. So OBS test, we'll give this a title. So we'll just say test stream and give it a description, a quick description. Gives you a content type. I'm not really sure what that's used for exactly, but we'll hit education. We can choose a thumbnail. So let's say concert. That's great. You can also give it a trailer. We'll give it this 14-second video that we have in here. Next, you can set the privacy. So this only applies to the directly YoloCast hosted video. So you can either set it to public or require a password, and we'll check that out in a second. And then we'll select destinations. So if you want to stream to more than just the YoloCast page, you can actually select destinations. So we'll say, let's stream to YouTube, and we'll make that private. And then if we open up Facebook, you can actually see I can either stream directly to my timeline or to a page that I have those permissions for. We'll do my timeline and make sure it's only me. I don't want you guys seeing all my live streams that I'm testing with. So then we'll hit save and we'll see those options here. Finally, you can select a start date and time. I haven't found that this is completely necessary, but just for kicks, we'll go ahead and do it. We won't do auto start and we won't do repeat. So let's go ahead and hit create. And here we can see it in our upcoming events. So if we dive into that, this page has a lot of info, but I promise it's not too scary. So starting over on the left, you actually just see a quick little preview of what's showing on your stream. You can see your stream source. So we haven't actually started sending any content here, a few metrics. And then here in the middle is your main dashboard area. So we'll see the destinations that we have set up. We'll see any comments that are coming in. You can set up a video to overlay your video, kind of like an ad if you wanted to do that, some live analytics, and then overlays that you want to add in the moment. You'll also see some diagnostics and summaries up here, and then the ability to make clips over here. So what does this actually look like? Well, over here we have a few options. We'll hit view on YoloCast to go to your monitor. So here we have the trailer. So it's going to play this video ahead of time. So if you just had a bumper video that you wanted to play that would just loop, if anybody got to this page earlier, this would actually play here and loop for you as a nice little trailer. This is great for churches. You could put your bumper video here rather than actually playing it as part of your service. You can see here we have my title as well as the description that I set. We can also start chatting here, even though the event hasn't actually started yet. And I created a username with test before, but if we open this in an incognito window to actually see what it does, I can actually just input a username. And so Josh Test, and then we can say something. So this gives people the ability to chat even if they don't have any kind of account. And so if I look back at the dashboard, we can actually see those chats rolling in, even though the event hasn't started yet. So you also have the ability to embed this video somewhere or share the link or tweak some appearance here. So we can have this pre-roll message here, or we can hide related events, do some different branding here, whatever it is that we want to do. We're not going to change any of this right now, but just know that it's there. If we want to edit this and say, here, let's require a password actually. We'll put in a password. Hopefully I actually remember it. We'll update that. So now if I go look at this and I refresh the page, it's going to require me to put my password in. So if you wanted to stream private events, you totally can pretty easily there just by requiring a password. Okay, but you're here for multi-streaming, not just streaming to YoloCast's page that you can embed somewhere. So how do we do that? Well, we have our platforms here and we could add some more if we really wanted to, but we actually have to hit schedule in order to create the events on those social platforms. Because if I go into my YouTube dashboard, I don't see any upcoming streams, and same on Facebook. So I will actually click schedule and then create it now. And that'll take a few seconds, but once that finishes, then I can go into my YouTube Studio dashboard and I can see this stream has been created with the settings that I gave it, test stream, quick description. So let's go ahead and go into this. You can see in here, it has also automatically given me a thumbnail here, and we can see this stream key is actually coming directly from YoloCast. So this is awesome. We can see that it has already selected all of the best settings based on what we wanted here. So we can do the same thing with Facebook. Now Facebook's live streaming is a little bit weird in my opinion, but this works in essentially the same way. It's going to create and schedule an event that will have a live stream attached to it. So once that schedules, it does take a little bit longer than YouTube in my experience. Oh, and look, it actually just completely failed. Maybe. Let's refresh the page and see. Oh, there we go. It did schedule it. So here we go. So those are going to work in very similar ways. Now though, we really need to start actually sending content to this. So I've got OBS here, and I'm screen recording with it, but we can go into my stream settings and see that I am actually set up to stream to YoloCast. So I've got all those settings. So I can actually just hit start streaming, and we should just see my stream here get connected, and then also see, there we go, my screen captures start coming through. So it's not going to be a very interesting stream that we're watching. In fact, it's basically just going to be what you're seeing here, but you could see how this is actually happening. But if you're familiar with live streaming, you'll know this is not actually live anywhere yet.
I mean, this is a pretty compact.
Right now, you're still just seeing whatever trailer I have rolling. But if I feel like I'm ready to go now, I can go ahead and hit go live, and this will start pushing out to my different platforms. So now I can see some different diagnostics here, as well as the fact that my different platforms are connected. I can turn them off at any point if for whatever reason I want to stop streaming to them. I can also jump onto those different tabs. So on the YoloCast tab, great, we can see that stream happening here. If I jump into YouTube, I could see it here as well, and it automatically started that live stream. And then finally on Facebook, you can see it in here as well, that we're streaming. So across the board, you can see how powerful this already is. We're multi-streaming to these different locations, and we have analytics from across the board showing up here, and the ability to control those different ones if we so choose. So now I could also take this embed link, and I could embed it directly in my website using this embed code however I wanted to. And we could do this in a few different ways. We can show the full featured one with the comments and everything else, the player plus the description, or just the player, or we can actually specify exactly what's going to show up there using these checkboxes here. Finally, you just copy this code and then you dump it directly into your website editor. That way, as you're streaming, it'll just show up right on your website, ready for people to see it. And of course, you don't have to stay on that page as you're streaming. As long as that stream is going through from OBS or whatever your source is, it'll be coming in. And so under current events now on the dashboard, we can actually see that stream showing up here. Okay, so our stream is over. We're ready to end it. So we'll actually just go here and hit stop event, and this will actually stop it across our different platforms. So as I go over to YOLO Live, great. Now it's actually just saying, please wait, and the recording will be available shortly. So that's another advantage here, is that even on your hosted version of this live stream, people can actually come in later and still view those recordings as if they were live. And if I go into YouTube, we can see that stream was finished. And if we go into Facebook, that same thing, that stream has been finished. Okay, so that was an actual live stream, but we also have this re-event simulated live or just a media video. So a re-event is you can actually choose one of your previous live streams and re-stream it as if it were live. Everything will appear exactly the same as if it were live. People would never know. Or a media video, which is very similar, but it allows you to actually just upload your own videos ahead of time and stream those. So if we actually select one of these, say our test stream, and hit select, and we'll say another test stream, test description, great. And we won't fill out very much of this time. And we'll hit create. Now, as soon as we go live here, this will just start rebroadcasting that live stream exactly how it happened before, which is great because it means that I don't need to actually be streaming anything from my devices in case we actually just have an event at some time and then we want to broadcast it as if it were live. Or if you want to live stream your church services more than once and have people interacting in the chat, even though it's not actually live. That's not something that we do, but it's great to know you have the option. And then again, you can stop it whenever you want, or it will automatically stop when that video actually runs out of time. So we'll go ahead and stop it now. And then finally, there is this 24/7 live stream. And so there's a couple things that you can do here. This is a way to actually just have a persistent URL for your live stream. So people can come to this page, and if you're live streaming, that's where it'll be no matter what. And so you can stream just via the normal link, or you can do a simulated live where you can add videos that it will cycle through. So as you can see here, I can select those videos, and now it will run through them constantly streaming. So if for whatever reason you just wanted your sermons on a loop somewhere, you could do that. All right, so now that we've actually completed a live stream, let's jump back into the media center. And here under videos, you can actually see that live stream that just happened. So you can actually download that video as it is, or get a downloadable link that you can actually send people if you want them to have the file for whatever reason. It's also cool that on this page, you can actually create a live event from a video that's uploaded here in case you forget how to do that. That's something cool about YoloCast. It actually gives you places to start those live events that make sense without having to be on this main page. But if we go into this past event, we actually have the ability to create clips now. So we can actually edit highlight clips. and capture a new highlight based on something that happened here. And so let's say I just want to save that as highlight 1. You can see here how it would be really easy to just make little sermon clips or something like that, and then you could download them and share them around. You can also upload replacement videos, again, to that same YoloCast page. So that way, in case you were recording it locally as well as streaming it and you wanted to have that local recording there replacing it for replay, you could do that as well. One last feature as we're here that I forgot to mention is this backup stream. So if for whatever reason you were worried about your encoder and you had 2 encoders, you could actually set both of them to stream to YoloCast with different stream keys and URLs. That way, if one of them dropped, it would actually default to using the other stream instead. This isn't really gonna help you in a situation where your internet goes out because probably they're both connected to the same internet. But if you did have 2 different connections, or if you're just worried about your hardware failing in general, this has your back. Pretty cool to see that. All right, I mean, that is about it for YoloCast. I mean, there's a couple other random small features here and there that I'm sure that I missed, but you can see this is a pretty full-featured piece of software, and you can go and look at that pricing page and see what plan is right for you and your church if you want to start using it. If you're interested in trying out YoloCast for you and your church, go ahead and sign up using the link in the video description. I do get a small kickback from that, and it doesn't cost any extra for you, so go ahead and check that out. There are lots of different platforms you can use to live stream, but I think that YoloCast is a pretty cool one, so it's definitely worth checking out. Until next time.